Everybody saying, hell yeah.
No. What's up?
He's better than Oprah.
Come on, y'all. This is Shaun T, and it's time to trust and believe. I will say that just seeing a lot of my white friends, and even like some people call people fans, like y'all my family out there, my friends or whatever. I still call everybody my friend, just taking a stand, and that their families were mad at them. A lot of people, their families were mad at them for speaking up, for saying, Black Lives Matter, because their families didn't understand that we mean Black Lives Matter too. And so there's it was just, I just love seeing how people stepped outside of their comfort zone and actually, spoke up and show that they are our allies, and that as we as Black people come together, we're not coming together to exclude you. We're coming together to let you know, we need your help, and we need.
And it matters. I have been so emotional over the last couple of weeks, in that this is the first time in my life that I have seen white people come to my defense or come to another Black person's defense. And it matters, y'all. And it's beautiful. And it gives us a moment to be like, I don't have to do it by myself.
Right.
I'm sorry.
No, it's so true.
It's real.
I mean, it's so true. It's very similar to the conversation I had with Draico on the phone. I was like, wow, I'm not alone. But when we see white people do that and come out of the shell, if you will, it feels so great. And I wish that could be expressed more too. As we go along and we talk about Black Lives Matter, and we talk about the entire movement. I personally, even as a Black man, I want to thank all the white people out there for being a voice. I had a friend yesterday. I was, trying to get on social media, but someone sent this to me. I had a friend yesterday and said, he posted something like don't kill my Black friends. And he put all of our names there. And I was like, that is so bold for someone to do. That it just meant a lot to me that people are taking a stand. I even had a conversation with Shalene Johnson this morning, and she's really great and supportive, but there's still things that she's confused about, Right. And so people reaching out, it really does mean a lot.
And just in general, I think that, we've all had to, submit a little bit our feelings, like we talked about earlier, our feelings, and don't say this because you want to get this job. Make sure you don't act this way because you don't want to do this. Make sure you be this way. But this is the first time, like Erica said, in my life that I felt like I can say exactly what it is, and everybody finally been like, Because before you can say, well, this happened, and everybody act like it never happened. Or
you're just angry. Or you're just mad. Or
yes. This is the
mad Black woman is a label that I have walked in, regardless of whether I'm smiling. And I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but you're 100% right. This is the very first time, which is why I think yesterday I got so many responses. I even had a follower reach out to the head of Zoom, who now has me in conversation with the chief diversity officer at Zoom. And it was beautiful to see people stepping up and fighting that battle for me. But literally, this is the first time that so many Black people are experiencing this. And it's not normal, but we're appreciative of it, because before this, if we were to say something, like Shaun said, he doesn't want to, in the beginning, he said he didn't want to come across like he was overreacting, because that is assumed of us.
Yes.
That is, if we have emotions, we are overreacting. Mm-hmm. And this is the very first time that we actually have a platform to, if we want to cry, if you want to sit in silence, be silent. If you want to yell, and people are actually listening.
Yeah. And And to the followers who listen, Erica is dead on. For Black women, it is hard because guess what? She can walk into a building and not say nothing, and everybody think that she's angry already. That's just what it is. And if she say one thing, she can. A Black woman can say one thing. It don't even have to be that big. She can say one thing, and she's angry to everybody. And it's not. She's just saying one thing. But now I feel like everybody's voicing what's happening to them, and all of us are voicing what's happening to what's our experience on this live. It is making our friends and allies see that this is just not happening to Jonathan that stays in the hood in Oakland. This is happening to people that you actually know, but this is the first time that we ever felt comfortable enough expressing it and saying it out loud and people actually getting it, like that really happened to you. Shaun, people would never think that things that you've been through, that it happened to you, like you said, because you got a lot of white women that follow you, and you are in an interracial relationship. So people think, sometimes people think, oh, well, you're not like them. No, you are.
And it was so
I'm not like them, but I am.
But a conversation I had with Scott, just talking about my relationship, because I haven't really discussed the things that has happened yet. Because we've been so busy, and I wanted to know if Scott would want to talk about it, but like Scott was like lost. Like he was like, what? But it still caused me, after that first big like blowout, slightly embarrassing, but moment that we had as a family, we had a couple conversations, but one day we were about to work out. And Scott was like, I don't understand white privilege. Like why, and I had to explain, because a lot of people don't understand white privilege. And I had to explain to him, because he's like, I don't think like that, and I was like, you're a beneficiary.
Yes. Yeah.
And when I said that, he was like, oh. I was like, you might not walk out of the house like you're privileged, or because being privileged has a negative connotation. I was like, but you're a beneficiary of the way that the system is built, because you're white hair. I mean, you're a white guy with blonde hair, blue eyes. Like you're just a beneficiary. He's like, I never thought of it that way. Cause Scott didn't know how to express, cause Scott is like an all or nothing. He was like, what? And I'm gonna tell y'all, like, dead ass, like everybody thinks Scott is this, like, he is very nice, but everybody thinks he's like this super calm. I lie to you not. If Scott was there in the vicinity of when George Floyd was being murdered, Scott would have probably gotten hurt really bad or killed himself, because he would have pushed that one cop out the way and went and pulled that guy off. Like, no lie. And so he was struggling he was like, he's like, either I'm going to do something big. He was like, what is me posting on social media going to do? And I had to explain to him that just the look of you is going to make people's head turn, So that, so it's tough everywhere and for everybody. And so I just wanted to share that, because I don't think a lot of people knew that the conversations that are even going in people's homes. And I'm sure people who are listening in, if you have a spouse or if you have a family member that disagrees, like there are tons of different conversations that are going on. And that's why we appreciate you being here. Go ahead, Draico. I know you.
I seen a video. It broke my heart. And I said that, and it's so funny that you said Scott, because I'm like, that probably would have been Scott, or if something was wrong, that was one of y'all children, if this was to happen. It was a little girl going all the way in with facts with her mother and her father, and they were telling her that she was doing, it broke my heart, because what she's saying was true, but they didn't want to hear that. For some odd reason, they just didn't want to hear that. And I'm like, these conversations are being had, and the allies and the people that they get it, know that it's being had. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's one of the, not perks, but the perks of this whole thing, that we're able to vocalize how we really feel and what's happening, and people are getting it and are talking about it. So the conversation is happening. And when it comes to and we're talking about the business that I'm in, the entertainment business that we all are in, I have had some things said, and I'm like, for example, this huge producer, I was working, choreographing on this one movie, and they couldn't find a lead actor. Now, take in mind, in this franchise, there's always been nothing but Caucasian actors, but for the leads, that's a whole different conversation, but cool. But everybody behind scene, the ones that made them look good, the one that's choreographing it, all the choreographers, all the actors were all African American or Latin, right? So one of the people brought up, like, why won't you just hire an African American lead or another ethnic lead? And you know what came out of this producer's mouth? Well, I need to know if I put your face on a picture, will it sell? If I put your face on a poster, will it sell this movie? If I put your face, and being the black boy, so of course I'm like, did this just say put a what? But at that moment, I had to do one of those things to be like, he just really said, I didn't even know if I put your face on a poster, if I put somebody of a color face on a poster, will it sell this movie? And it sticks in my head, and I get angry at myself when I even think about that story, because I should have checked his ass at that moment. But, it was one of those things that we talked about earlier. Sometimes you bite the back of your tongue and you just walk away, because if I snap, I'm going to be
your job.
Yeah, I'm going to lose my job and I'll be blackballed from this business. But I don't have to work. But to this day, today, it won't happen today. Because it's a whole new day, because the conversations that we're having, and everybody's well aware of all the situations that's happening in the world. So if he said that today, I would have the right to check him and feel supported. If that makes sense.
If I can really quickly, I want to kind of double back on a part of the conversation that I think is very unique to each of us. So Shaun, you touched on it a little bit when we were talking about the hood, but it's like, also what's happening is we're fighting this fight and we're having to deal with these battles in, companies or in situations. But then also when we make it out of the hood and we're in these situations that are looked at as successful, we got to look back and see the people that we grew up with that love us, our family, that are condemning us, that are saying we change, that are saying we ain't for them, that I know I have experienced persecution from all sides, and I'm very blessed to now be in a very healthy place with a lot of my friends and family, and then friends who couldn't get with the program and couldn't not be toxic were let go. But another thing that is the weight on a lot of Black people's back, and I hate when I hear the whole there's so many things that just came to my mind, but you were talking about the young lady who was arguing with her parents, and he's like, those are animals in the hood. And it's like, but those other ones are different. We're not different. Wow. We just made some different decisions. But not only do we have to come out into the world and deal with you, and you who hate me because of my skin color, I got to deal with the burden and the guilt of my family hating me because I did make it out. Right. Or my friends hating me because they're still stuck in a situation and they can't figure out a way out. Mm-hmm. So another thing that's very, very important to take from this conversation is that it's not just about the racism that you see put in front of you right now. This is years and years of oppression, of persecution, of just emotional terrorism that people are walking around with, that I know I have been walking around. I am so glad that LA is opening up, because I am hopping on a therapist. I need a new therapist. I moved to LA a couple years ago. I didn't get a new therapist. I'm hopping on the couch because there are things that just need to be dealt with. Mm-hmm. And another great thing about what's happening now in reference to being able to have these conversations is that now we're able to have them in open, because before I had to deal with all this on my own. I got to figure out how to navigate my family, how to go home and not get caught up, how to get into this room and share all my creative ideas and be my great self that I have built myself to be, but not be too great, because you don't want to intimidate this person and then they're going to think, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So
dim your light. You have to dim your light a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just want to clear some things up. Yes, we have to do all those things. And a couple of years ago, Eric, I've been to LA for a while now. And, I've always been the boy next door, the jokester, like to have fun. Oh, Draico's talented. I like to have a good time. I've always been there. I want to make sure everybody's laughing and have a good time. But one time I went back home to South Carolina. I'm originally from South Carolina. I went to college in Atlanta, originally from South Carolina. I went to South Carolina, and I went back to, I was going to school with one of my cousins. I went to one of my cousins' school to pick them up. And a group of his friends was outside, was like, "You still dancing?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do it every now and then. I'm still in the biz. I still dance." And do you know Jay-Z? Do you know all these people? Because they get excited about those. Now I'm like, I've been in the presence of some of these people. Like, oh my God, and like, I just want to do that. I'm like, at that moment when he said, "I just want to do that," I'm like, I wonder, do you think there's a difference between me and him? Because it isn't. At that moment, I made it my duty to every chance I get to speak to anybody. You don't have to be black. Anybody that come from an area less, because everybody in the hood ain't black. There's some other ethnicities in the hood. The hood is just the hood. So I always go back to those places like schools and places. I am the boy next door. I get it. I'm the homeboy. I like to have a good time. But I make sure they know there's no difference between me and you. Just make sure because the system, like you said, the education system in those areas are not the best, but get what you can and take it and go somewhere else to learn other things so you don't broaden and open up your mind to a bigger world. It's a bigger world outside of this little area. But when you do make it out of this little area and you go away, make sure you come back and teach those people that what you learn on this world travel, you come back and you invest that in those people so they know that they're no different from you, and that if you made it out and you come back, that they can make it out and come back and do the same thing. But never leave and not come back and teach those people nothing, because they have to see you are the light at the end of the road for them. If that makes any sense.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. That actually motivated me to do more. I have so many things to say, and I know we are well past an hour, so I'm gonna find a way to like bring this together and give people possible ways to answer questions. But I wanted to say really fast. My friend sent me a message the other day, and he said, "Can you make a commencement video for the class of 2020 for our high school?" Yeah. And I was like, absolutely, and just what you said, I was just like so happy that I did that, because where I'm from, it's just crazy. It sometimes could be like a crazy area. And so it was really nice to be able to do that. So thank you, because now that makes me want to do more. Okay. So to kind of like, in a way, wrap this up, even though this is not going to be wrapped up, in a way to like bring love to this. One, if you have a couple questions, we want you to ask them in the comments. You can start typing them down. But there's something else I want us to do. And I'm not like, this isn't like a cultish thing, but I want you guys to all do something for me really fast to let you know that we, Draico, Erica, and myself, are actually here with you. Okay. So this might find this a little bit strange, but it's not strange. Put your hand on your heart. So if you know your heart is not up here, your heart is right below your pectoral muscle, and you should be able to feel it beating. So you guys feel your heart beating? Even if you don't want to do that, you can feel your heart beating here. You feel that? Now imagine you taking a pin, a sterilized pin, and pricking your finger, and you press your finger open. Everybody's blood that's going to come out is red. Mm-hmm. So we all have a heartbeat, and because our heart is beating, that means we all have most of our organs, like it's operating in a way, and that blood is pumping through our body so that when we prick our finger and we do this, it's going to be red. The only things that are different about us is our skin tone, our hair texture, and color, and our eyes. That's it. And those things, when you look on Match.com, or if you look in scrolling through Instagram, those things are celebrated. You're like, oh my gosh, that person's hot. Oh my God, that person looks good. The shape of our bodies. But it's for some reason, the shape of our bodies, the color of our skin, the texture of our hair, the color of our eyes. And I'm talking about more than black and white and Latin, all races now. Like, we're judged on all of that. A lot of you have been judged on your body type, where you are right now. A lot of, we're talking about race today. But we all have a heartbeat, and we all bleed red blood. So that just means we're in a different package. Now, yes, our culture, we were shaped in different culture. Some people were brought up in church. Some people didn't go to church. Some people are from, Pakistan. Some people are from France. We have these different cultures that have been instilled in us in food and coffees and, in song. But why can't they be celebrated? Like, all of these things, like, this should really be celebrated. I'm happy that you have a heartbeat. I'm happy that you bleed red blood like me. At the end of the day, we have to stop judging each other for the shell that we're in and celebrate each other for what we bring to the world. And with that, I want to see if there are any questions. I do have one. I'm going to let Erica answer this one. I have one here. Lori Davis asks, as these marches continue, does that give you hope?
Yes. I am very hopeful looking at the social landscape right now. I also believe that this isn't a trend, and I believe that this is going to continue for quite a while. So prepare yourselves for that. Prepare yourselves to continue these conversations, because this is the first time in global history that these types of conversations around equality and social justice have been this vocal and have been this big. There are protests happening all around the world. There are protests happening in all 50 states. And this is the very first time that has happened. So I am so hopeful. And as long as we keep the conversation going until change actually happens, versus allowing trends and hashtags to bubble up and then fizzle out, we're going to be good to go in reference to being well on the way to making a difference. And ultimately, I want people to understand that equality for us is not inequality for any other group. This is so that the world can be better. We can all be better.
Love that. Draico, I have a question for you. The question says, my daughter asked me why I haven't smiled in days. How do you keep from being sad all the time with all of this knowledge and having the weight of it all? And I ask you because you always find a way to brighten my day when you call me. So,
I think it's so much going on in my body, and I think that life-changing things. You know what I mean? Because everybody's world has been shaken a little bit. So we all are in this together. You know what I mean? We all are. None of us are excluded from what we see on television, what we see on Instagram, and a lot of it will break your heart. But there's always a light at the end. And, so when I wake up in the morning, when I open my eyes, I know that when I turn my phone on Instagram, something's going to piss Draico off. I know I turn that news on, something's going to piss you off. So I already know it. So I'm going to smile all the way to the television and going to smile all the way to grab my phone. And when that moment happens, I already know it's there. But I got to make sure that I'm able to help make a change in that, and to teach the ones who don't know that this is how you make a change. And we all going to feel much better once all these things happen.
Amen.
Can I add something to that?
Of course. Real quick.
Something that a coach told me that really has helped me out is to feel your feelings fully. One thing that we do, well, I know that I have done, is when I'm sad, I allow the sadness to consume me. So I can eat my favorite vegan cupcake. I can have a bomb meal, but I'm in a moment of sadness and I'm sad. I don't register the feelings of, oh, I'm really enjoying this cupcake, or, oh, I'm really enjoying this. Or I can be in a moment where I'm anxious and I have a really great conversation with a family member and I feel so loved, but I'm blocking the feeling of feeling loved and appreciated because I'm allowing the anxious and the sadness to take over the entire day for me. And one of my coaches told me, you have to feel all of your feelings. You cannot just focus on the one and neglect the rest. So if you're struggling with finding happiness or finding joy, take a step back and look at the little things. And even if it's for 5 minutes that you are eating something that you just really love, eat it and love it. Allow yourself to love it, and then go back to feeling whatever you were feeling, and then find something else. And then next thing you know, you're stringing a bunch of things that you love together, and you're finding breaks in that. Right. Hope that helps.
No, that's great. Sorry, one more thing. I walked out this morning. It's so funny that you said that, Erica. I walked out this morning. I get up in the morning. I get my dog, who I love to death. I put him on his leash, and he's so happy to see me. So I'm like, oh, he's wiggling. So I chain him. I put his little thing on. I take him for a walk, right? I take him outside to use the bathroom this morning, and these two ladies were walking down the street. And I just smiled at them, and they said, good morning, hi. And I said, good morning. And I was happy from that.
Mm-hmm.
So simple.
I love it. I love
So
it.
simple.
I love
Yep.
it. I love it. Thank you. So there's the next question. What's the best way to check in on my Black friends without bombarding them when they may not have the energy to talk about it? I can answer this question because I've had probably 4 of those calls this week, which has been really amazing. Everyone's different, but for me, when people call to check in to see how I'm doing, I will call them back when I have the energy and time. And just by you saying I want to reach out is comforting. One of the most, I had every call I had this week was great. One of the calls that was the most profound, if you will, is I did have a friend reach out to me who is a Republican, like to the max 30. I always say the max 30 because I think it's funny, but he is a Republican to the max 30. But socially, I think Scott and I have changed his view on like maybe gay, but he's also not. So there's like a lot of things, but he was just like, I'm really conflicted. And I just thought it was I thought it was brave of him to do because, it's a really tough conversation to have, knowing you're going to go into it and you have some different views than the person who you're asking for help. And I was listening to him and there was this great example that I told him, I told him about like how I grew up in my grandfather's stories and ancestry and his ancestors. And I said to him, I said, your stories are growing up, your family or your friend's family dying for the flag in the war. Like everything that he was brought up was like, respect the flag, respect America. Like my family died for their sins, but they never talked about the other thing. So you're coming from a place of like, America's great and the flag is great and we should respect that. And I'm coming from a place, well, they didn't always, at the end of the Pledge of Allegiance, it says in liberty for justice for all. And we don't feel like we have that liberty. And so he was like, when I said that, he was like, oh, I was like, so there's lack of conversation about real American history on one side. And then when we pledge allegiance to this flag, because we were kind of talking about Kaepernick, it was like in liberty and justice for all. And I was like, but there is injustice for all. So, that was like, and it opened his eyes up to be like, oh, wow. At least he was open-minded to receive that. So I just think that you should be able to reach out to your friends. And I talked to Shalene today and, she said that she got anger from friends being mad at her that she does lyrics to like rap songs. And I'm like, I wouldn't get mad at that. I'm like, Black culture is amazing. Like before, people used to say we speak Ebonics. Now you turn on the news and they talking about swag and chill out. So that's facts. You know what I mean? I'm like, we're trendsetters. We're trendsetters, honey. Like get into it.
Get into it.
Right. So there are people that think differently about it. Like even on TikTok, like there's like all of these different like dances. And like one of the most popular dances is a dance that I think it was definitely created in Africa like years ago. And like everybody like hitting this move. And I'm like, people like get mad. And I'm like, but we are trendsetters. Like we've always been trendsetters, so we can't get mad at that. But that's just my opinion. And she was like really torn between like, should I continue? And I was like, girl, keep rapping your songs. Like keep doing your thing. Like, that would be like telling me not to listen to the music. But that's just my opinion. We're going to do one more question. I'll do 2 more questions, one more for each of y'all because it's getting late. And I still
I can talk all day. I can talk all
I know.
Day.
I still got to do I skipped my workout yesterday. I still got to do Friday Fight Round 2, but we can talk about that later. I'm going to do a 2-part question for you, Erica.
Okay.
It's 2 different questions, but first one is, what are your thoughts on defunding the police? And then the other is, what do you feel needs to happen for there to be fundamental change in the U.S.?
Ooh, that's heavy. Those are heavy. I am 100% for defunding the police and restructuring our criminal justice system as a whole. I think that the funds that are taken from our police can be funneled into specific and targeted programs and other systems that we can build that will actually serve people. So social work, so psychiatrists, like all of these things that play a part in how we are policing people, where it's basically throwing mental health people in jail, we're throwing addicted people in jail, we're domestic violence, like we're dealing with everything with one group of people who is just now have no checks and balances and haven't been able to really check themselves or resolve to the humanity in themselves and how they do their job. Now we need to dismantle that system and create more systems that are actually going to service the people who need them. If you're dealing with domestic violence, we need to have a psychiatrist and a social worker involved, not just a cop. If we're dealing with addiction, we need to have a doctor and a psychiatrist involved, because it's not just this addict is a criminal. It's so much bigger than what we try to make it. And to me, the police system has not worked. It was built and grounded in slavery. The original police were slave catchers. Yeah. So it's time to abandon this model and find something else. So yes, I'm 100% for defunding the police. I'm open to having a conversation if you don't agree, but I am 100% for that. When it comes to actions for tangible change, that's a hard one, because there's so many things that need to change. We need things to change in legislature. There needs to be laws passed against, like racism, in my opinion, should be illegal. There are clear actions that demonstrate racism, and it's very baffling to me why they're not illegal. We're making a little bit of strides. Like, I'm very excited about the law that they're trying to pass in New York that was based on Amy Cooper and what she did in Central Park a few weeks ago. Because false accusations are happening all over the place. I don't want to have to remind you guys about Emmett Till, but that's a very real thing for Black people.
Let's go.
These false accusations, they have to stop. For me, the tangible change that needs to happen is accountability for when things are not right. When you are dehumanizing people, you have to be accountable for it. When you're brutalizing people, you have to be accountable for it. When you are oppressing someone, you have to be accountable for it. Emotional terrorism is real. You need to be accountable for that. Because we have lived lives where we have to be accountable for our Blackness. We have to be accountable for how we show up in the world. We have to be non-threatening. We have to be all of these things. It's time for everybody to be accountable.
If we was at church, look, girl, I ain't got nothing to say because she said that.
Listen, my last question is going to be for Draico.
I hope it ain't nothing.
I'm going to say in a very respectful way, let the church say amen.
Amen.
Okay.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm very passionate about this because I'm excited for the day that I get to just be.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for that day.
Me too.
The day where you could just be.
Yeah.
I was having this thought about that, saying to myself, it is going to be so amazing when we can walk out of the house and just know that people are loved. Like, and again, I'm a realist. There's no way we're going to get 100% of the people to feel this way. Right. But to get a lot of people who may have been afraid to feel this way because of the way they were raised to finally... I'm waiting for the day where I'm walking down the street and some random white man comes up to me and hugs me and say, you know, I used to be afraid of Black people, but you know, I'm just hugging you because like I just can't even wait for that day. Mm-hmm. Because that's when I know like true change is happening, when people just, we got to wait till COVID-19 is over because I'm doing my little 6 feet, but I'm wearing my mask. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Just to like, to know, you know, it's, and like, I don't know. I don't know. Like for me, that's an amazing thing because it takes people out of that comfort zone of like, not comfort zone, but that uncomfortable zone of, I wonder what they're thinking about me, which is what we think a lot of times. Mm-hmm. And somebody just being like, you know, I love you. Like I used to not love your people. Like I'm fine with even him saying that, but like this has taught me to be a better human. That day is going to be amazing. Okay.
Can I say one thing? I think that if they don't defund the law, the police, they don't defund them and give that money to them teachers and them healthcare people quickly. Because guess what? During this, if they don't agree, during this coronavirus, if you got a whole bunch of kids and they've been at your house all day, you be like, give them teachers some more money and get these kids to school because they've been in this house. You want them to have. Now you understand why they need more money for your badass kids. Get them their money. Your kids is bad because everything the government told you, that's not what happened at school. You see it because they're in your face now. Get them some money. Get them people more money. And get them help for money.
Fund the education system. Fund the education system.
For years, I believe that teachers are so... I'm like, teachers should make a minimum of $120,000 a year.
Minimum. And still get their summers.
And still get your summers. And because like I'm doing double duty, you know, working full time and, you know, running a business, and I'm like leader of a great team. And like at 3:30, you know, at 3 o'clock, I leave here to go back to be with Scott and like to relieve him for the day. And I'll be rolling up on that last 2 minutes of the drive. And I'm like, I'm definitely going 5 minutes below the speed limit. I'm like, I got to get back to these damn kids. Like Silas already, now I'm about to get slapped in the face because he don't want to get rid of that iPad. And I'm like, so our babysitters are, one of our babysitters are quarantining herself right now because I said, listen, me and Scott said, we can't do this shit no more. And one of them started working for Team Shaun T. Like she's helping out, you know, because we didn't want to like have anyone lose their job in our company, you know.
Right.
But when Mackenzie come back, I swear, I'm like, girl, I'm going to hug her. I'm going to love on her. I might do her hair for her. I'll wash it. I'll condition it. But I know I'm being funny right now. I wanted to bring a little light to it.
Yeah.
But I'm so for teachers making more money. Like, I'm so for that. Like, I think our children, first of all, they'll be held more accountable, right? Mm-hmm. More, you know, and they'll be appreciated more, I believe, because when you get a job, money is appreciation for that and as a human. And I just believe that, again, all kids in all neighborhoods will get a great education because people know, like, when you make more money, you don't want to lose that more money, right? So, and just... I don't know. Like, I'm just like, I'm so for that. I'm so for that. But I'm first of all, I think that it should be a thing that all these cops, you just can't give them a job. Because make them I don't want to see them do insanity or any of them. I want to see them do the workout. In order you have to get through that. You have to get through that whole thing and be able to do it back to back before you get your feet out on these streets. Because some of these cops, I'm like, yo,
if you run, you're not going to catch him.
I've been saying it for years. I'm like, and y'all know, for me, I'm in no way about body shaming or fit. Like,
ain't about that.
But when you're a police officer, I'm like, sometimes I walk through New York and I'm like, if somebody snatches that woman's purse, I'm going to be the one that run him down because you ain't.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And I'm not even saying that to be rude. I'm just like, I've always said,
real.
You know, they should have to do the insanity fit test every month and have to you get put on desk duty. I know it's crazy, but I'm like, because I'm like, anyway. Draico, this is my last question because we can go there for a minute, but that was really comedic and I appreciate it. All right, so my last question is, and I asked you this question because it's about children, and even though you don't have any children yet, I know you love kids. Like, Draico loves
the best thing ever.
Okay, so it says, I was raising my children to not see color, and then I repost on a friend's page that he felt they should see color so we could discuss why things are so different. What are your thoughts? And go ahead.
First of all, I think that there's no way you cannot see color. It's impossible because we all are different shades of a color. So I think that that's the end of that. But I do think we teach them that you have to let them know that their color is not greater or lesser than the person whose color is standing beside them. You know what I mean? That doesn't make you, because your skin is lighter or you're a different race, that doesn't mean that you're greater or less than the next one. but they are a different shade. They're a different color than you. But like you said, we all bleed the same, and our heartbeat beats the same. So your color is not going to make you lesser or greater than the next person's color.
But I was saying to Erica last night when I was talking to her, I was like, I wish a lot of these people who were afraid of black people or, were racist, and I know it's hard to get them. I'm like, can they just come to the cookout in the hood? Like, y'all would have the best time. Like, y'all would be like, oh.
Eat good.
Let me tell you something. I say that all the time. I'm like, first of all, I guess because I am black, I don't understand. That's one thing I can never understand is, why are you scared? I don't get it. Now, if you swinging up on somebody, you trying to hit somebody in the fight, then there I see what happened out there. But I don't understand why somebody walk into a building and you're terrified. I don't understand that. I never have. But I do think that if you are scared, you know how you walk to a party and you open the gate and you see something you like, should I go in here? At a black cookout, I feel like no matter what, if you open the gate, they're going to look at you, but they're going to go about their business.
Or they're going to be like, you want something to eat?
But then what happens later, as you keep going in, if you just keep going in, somebody's going to walk by you and be like, you hungry?
Are you hungry? Literally.
That's just the culture. You hungry? You want a drink? Which one? A beer? What do you want? Like, that's what's going to happen. No one's going to attack you. It's not that. You know what I mean? They're like, our first thing is like, we want you to have a good time, no matter what color you are. Well, you hear, first of all, you either got to know somebody or you just heard some good music and you want to come in.
I know. Yeah. I feel like my first Shaun T event back out of quarantine should be the cookout.
It should be.
It should just be the cookout. And just
I'm here for it. Because that's what it, to me, that's what it is all about. At the end of the day, it's like someone on the side was saying, or in the comments was saying, what can you do to be impactful right now? What you're doing, having these conversations, but opening yourself up to go into a situation where you're uncomfortable with a black person. Get to know us. Yeah. I promise you it ain't that bad. Like, we a good time.
We're a good time.
we like to cut up. We like to eat. We want to dance. Like, take a chance. And, if you are in the proximity of a person of color, and you might be associates, befriend them. Get to know them. I think that's also something, because Shaun mentioned, like, what can you do because you don't want to overburden your black friends. I think the most powerful thing that a non-black person can do right now for me is to really get to know me, understand what my love language is, and then show up for me in my life that way. It doesn't have to be, I'm sorry that this happened to you, but hey, remember you mentioned to me that you had this going on. Do you need some help with that? That would be super powerful, because for me, it's about normalizing our lives and supporting one another, regardless of just I'm black and you're white, or whatever the case may be. Show up for your black friends just in life in general, regardless of this conversation right now about race.
And going off of what she said, and Draico, I'll let you talk, but I wanted to say that a lot of people on here agree with us, right? Mm-hmm. And so I just urge you, when this becomes available publicly, to just, if you enjoyed it, obviously, I guess if you're still on it for 2 hours and you enjoyed it, but like really push it out there. Just be like, hey guys, like, go listen to this, or you don't have to be an overbearing voice of change. You can just be a voice that is kind of like a bridge between what some people may be afraid of and what they don't need to be afraid of. And so, and I think that's why one of the reasons why I enjoy seeing posts from all different races about this is because you are a bridge. You are a connector to Black Lives Matter. Okay, go ahead, Drake.
Oh, I was just going to say it's so simple, because no matter if you know somebody or not, if anybody, for the most part, from what I've known, and me being on this earth, when I'm outside and I don't know anybody and somebody walk by me and they go, hey, and keep going, I'll be like, oh, what's up? And they keep, like, that already is like a connection right there. It's not, if you say hi to somebody, they're going to, especially to a black, you go, hi, they go, oh, what's up? Oh, hey, girl, what you doing? And keep it going. It's not like, I think some people are so scared to say anything, and it's a simple hi. Well, how you doing? Or nod of the head. Whatever's cool. People nod their head at me, I go, what's up back?
Draico, you probably see this, and Scott laughs all the time, but I can be anywhere in the world. I can be in London, UK or whatever. I can be in Paris. I could be in the south of France. I can be in Germany. When I see a black guy, we have that
immediate.
It is like this.
Immediate.
It's like this language. It's like this unspoken thing. But just going off of what you said about speaking, I try to make reference to if a white person was in the hood and you fell and you tripped on the curb and you broke your ankle, the entire neighborhood is coming out. They're going to carry you in the house. They're going to bring you water. They're going to make sure, they're going to offer you something to eat while you're in pain. We are such a good people that I just, I think all of this is, I want you guys to know that by being on this call, we appreciate it. And, we are like Erica says, and I just love this word, we are allies. We are in this together, and we appreciate you wanting to take what I didn't think was going to be almost 2 hours out of your day to join us. And I'll let you guys, this is the last thing I'm going to say, and then Draico, I'll let you speak, and Erica, I'm going to let you have the last word on this call all the way to the goodbye. But literally from the bottom of my heart, I thank you guys for joining, being open to the conversation, accepting my friends, because they mean a lot to me. And there are people that just really have my back, and just having conversations with them offline, I just really thought it would be important for you to hear from them and to hear how we communicate with each other, because it's been just a really great joy having them just in my corner and helping me through this time. Go ahead, Drake.
Well, I want to say thank you for hosting this, first of all, and allowing me and Erica to come on and say our truth, openly, and having your followers and people that follow you I want to thank you guys for even taking time, like Shaun said, to listen to us and allowing us to be open and pure, and to be, without having to hold anything, is to let you know our experience. And I hope that everyone's able to come out of this to learn something from our experience, because as you guys are learning, with me, Shaun, and Eric are still learning things about each other's stories. You know what I mean? All these stories are similar but different at the same time. And yeah, we're a good time. Say hi. Come to the cookout. Have a drink.
Yes. Before Erica goes, because I said Erica's going to finish out, no matter what, and I'm not trying to get into anything other than you have to vote, people.
Yes.
You have to vote. You have to vote. You have to vote. You have to vote. Erica, take us away.
No, I just want to piggyback on all of what was said. Shaun, thank you immensely for using your voice and your platform and your amazing heart to have this conversation. It is needed. It is valuable. And I thank you for including myself and Draico in it. I thank your Fit Fam, you amazing people who have sat here and listened to us talk on this call, because you are seeking further clarity. You want to support. You want to be an ally. Your presence is felt. It is appreciated. And I pray that you continue to show up, because this is the work. This part is the work that's going to take us to a better place and a better country, better humanity. I am praying for us all. I am hopeful for us all. When you guys leave here, please talk to your friends, because it's the people who are not openly and actively walking into situations like this, or walking into conversations like this so that they can sit and listen, that need to hear the message the most. So I would charge you guys with talking to 4 friends over the course of the next month. And I know it's uncomfortable. I know it's not necessarily something that we all want to do, but now that you're aware of certain things, now that you've seen this perspective, you can see things happen in life. And what we need for you guys to do to be as impactful, I've seen that a lot in the comment section, you guys want to take impactful action, it will be to address the systematic racism that is happening in life. To not let this be a moment, to not let this be a fad, to not let this be a trend, but let this be a way of life. You stand with your brothers and sisters, regardless of color, in that this will not stand anymore. We will not allow anyone to treat anyone differently, regardless of whatever. We all get the same thing. Let that be the benchmark for your life, and then move as such.
So, Erica, you have to do one thing because you're closing us out. You have to say, and always trust and believe.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And you beautiful, amazing, open, loving souls, always trust and believe in who you are.